Nice, dude. That was crisp.
Yeah.
That's too sorry.
No, it's good. I think we just keep rolling.
Yeah, I thought that I played it the best that I've ever played it there.
I was definitely the most comfortable
Air
with
guitar,
it.
sick.
Why are you saying air?
We didn't get the guitar on camera.
Are you serious?
The invisible one?
We missed it.
You're going to have to eat your mic, dude.
We missed it.
Oh, okay. Welcome to Unsought Opinions with the Boys. We got a full round table today at our lovely poker table. Sweet blue background.
Blue in the blue background with
Great
a blue
crisp
drink and blue
crack.
headphones.
That was refreshing.
Is that better?
say so.
Like, is that better than the Dr. Pepper?
Absolutely.
It is.
I've never seen that before.
So we're all
Dude,
about to.
It's a Red Bull from Aldi.
We're about to crack a drink together,
What's
and
it called?
you.
Red Thunder.
No way. They actually used the word red.
Red Thunder.
Dude,
And
it
the
should be
N-
like
the N is a lightning bolt.
red male bovine.
Yeah.
What's a bovine?
I think it's a bull.
it's a bull.
It's a cow.
That's
What's the
same
whole
thing.
species? It's like equine is horses.
Pretty sure we had this conversation before.
Have we?
Yeah.
What are we doing here today?
What are we doing?
Yeah, what are we doing?
We're having a podcast. The place that people come to learn about things that they don't know that they want. This is really difficult for us. We're trying to be more disciplined and have actual mic stands. We had a viewer write in that they did not enjoy us holding our mic stands. So
It was the one viewer out of thousands that were
Yeah.
against the mic stands, but we said, you know what? We stand up for the little man.
Right.
That's what we do.
We do.
With our little stands.
Well, I have the little stand
Average
over there.
so we
It's little.
That is a little.
we're working on it, but our sound might come in and out. We just hope that you guys can be patient with us. We're working to afford more stands, but that's why you got to subscribe. That's why you got to like. That's why
I'm
you got
not
to
really.
share.
Subscribe to our Patreon.
Yeah,
Dude, the Patreon last week, by the way, fire, boys. Fire.
Dude.
Well done.
We have to start hiring a financial planner to monitor everything that's coming through.
Oh, yeah.
Amen.
like mic stands. Dang it.
We just keep putting it back into the podcast.
Everything. We're just dumping it all in.
Yep.
We haven't.
We got to grow.
honestly-
We need growth.
Everyone, I'm going to be very vulnerable with everyone listening in radio world and YouTube world. We're still in the red.
Oh, comfortably.
Yeah, but that's what happens when you're paying 5 salaries, and
5 salaries.
and you're
You wouldn't believe how much we're paying ourselves.
dude.
We have John Rolfio and what's
You
his
would
name?
not believe it. John,
Aziz,
I'm sorry.
Tom Haverford?
Tom Haverford, and John Rolfio vibes in our business.
Yeah. What is it? E720?
Yeah, entertainment center. Yeah, Detlef Shrimp has just been standing in the corner this whole time, dude. It's unbelievable. Guys, how we doing?
Dude,
Oh,
good.
man, so good, dude. How was your week?
Dude, hang on. We gotta do
Way
it
to start
right.
off with Steve. Oh my god.
I've lost all control over the buttons. I don't know which button is which now.
The irony is that sound was fitting for that sound that you just made.
Anyway, it was good, dude. It was our anniversary, so we went up to and got a cabin in the mountains.
What?
Yeah,
I didn't get an invite.
you're right. I should have invited you. But the gift that my wife got me was this like 4-foot wingspan plane, like the RC styrofoam planes that go like 60 miles an hour or
Those are
whatever.
legit.
They're so sick. I took it up and it immediately crashed it and it exploded.
But that flight.
I got a question.
Had to
How
do
come that one plays all the way out, but the clapping doesn't?
It's
That's a really good. I
clapping-
think you can program it to like finish or on push.
Stuart, do you know? Yeah. Nice.
No idea.
Sweet.
oh, we're mic'd up. Sweet.
Yeah, we got it going.
Let's go.
Yeah. So anyway, we had that going on. It was fun. It was a good time.
How many years have you been married?
7. Dang. Were you at 6?
What day were you married?
I will be at 6.
What day?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna
What time?
divulge all of our information.
It was late afternoon.
What's your social security number?
dude.
It was late afternoon.
At my wedding date, a bald eagle flew down into the pond or into the lake that we were
I
at
was there.
and caught a fish. It was
Who was it that
unbelievable.
just was barreling through, leaving a
the
dust trail
stands.
late?
Who's Jeff?
Oh, yeah.
Shout out
Man,
Jeff.
Jeff, that's like 3 weeks in a row you've been on mentioned.
But yeah, during the middle of the service, a bald eagle flew through my wedding. Did that happen to any of your guys' weddings?
No.
I was inside, so I
was
don't know.
actually.
I got married in a Mennonite church.
There's a lot of bald people, but no eagles.
Don't do it.
Anyway,
All right, that noise has hit his quota.
yeah, I'm
Yes.
good with it for now.
Hey, Ben, how was your week?
Oh, dude, it's so good. I can't talk about it.
NDA.
Yeah, NDA.
NDA
Said
the whole week.
Yeah. No, it was good.
Well, that's cool.
I got back from Myrtle Beach. That's why I'm
Dirty
so
Myrtle.
overwhelmingly tan. You guys might have noticed.
Like a tomato next to me.
yeah. That was pretty sweet. Stuart was with me.
Yep.
He's over there.
There's
Trust
always a
me.
delay.
Just the two of you guys?
Yep.
That's cool.
Yep. Finally got away from our wives to have a weekend to ourselves. Oh my god. No, our families were with us. It was awesome.
Darn.
You say darn.
But anyway,
Luke,
Luke,
It was good, man.
did you gain the ability to walk
Yeah,
again?
man, I'm walking with that boot, but I feel like we just keep talking about my foot every week. So
Foot and plumbing.
Well,
Well, I was going to say, I
That's
have
how
a
our
plumbing
podcast-
update, so...
we got a little home gym set up in our house, and been working out with
is it
some
that
of the boys.
invertibed right there?
Yeah, dude.
Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty
Actually,
crazy.
it was funny. I was working out here, and my body, every bone was cracking the whole time. It's been years since I worked out.
That's really funny.
You can't
Felt
tell.
great.
You look good.
Yeah,
Yeah, thanks, man.
we've been crushing it,
Yoked.
which is sweet.
I skipped today.
Yeah, you did. So did you.
Maybe I'll do it when I get home.
Wait, you've been working out with them?
Yeah. I came yesterday and then found out they had this whole regiment that they were already
Right.
doing and everything.
Too intense.
Do you remember when we
One
lived
day.
in the Airly home?
Yes.
Was
I
it
was
you
part
or
of that.
Brandon when we were trying to work out like really late or really early so that the other two people would look at us and like, oh, you guys are jacked. We didn't even know you were working out just one day all of a sudden.
That was probably Brandon.
Probably
I
Brandon.
don't remember doing that.
We wanted to trick you guys and we got found out like 3 days in.
Dude, I remember we did P90X as a house.
Heck
Yeah.
And we lasted like 2 weeks, and I was like, I'm going to be a god. And then after that, we just didn't. I don't even know if it was a week, actually, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But
It works though. It worked for me in college, but it got so boring, so I had to bail.
that's the reason.
No, that's why I go to the actual gym.
Dude, I kind of want to join an actual gym.
Let me bring
no
it back to
offense.
You
Jeff.
have it right here.
No
You have
offense.
everything you need.
Jeff did P90X like 5 times in a row, and he did get jacked.
Yeah,
he's
that's
he's
true.
still jacked.
Yeah. Jeff, again. Shout out.
Shout out, Jeff.
Friend of the show.
You know who you are. We'll give you your address in the show notes.
Yep.
People can
Show
write in.
notes. Dan, how was your week?
I told you I did not do anything.
Okay.
When did you tell us that?
Before the mics
Before
were
it.
on,
We were not listening.
so we needed it to be on the record.
I
Were
wear
you
earplugs.
spying on anyone this week? Doing any creepy stuff?
Unfortunately, no.
Oh.
Nope.
How was that possible?
Nothing interesting.
So you did check.
Like you.
I always have my eyes out.
I'm literally always looking out my window
It's
at
like I'm
work.
not an idiot. I do the same thing,
Gotta be on guard.
but mine's in like a neighborhood, so I'll just like watch people walking their dogs by, like the creepy dude in his room.
Just like standing like in front of your blinds.
No
like, just
shirt.
staring. Yeah.
Hey, well, you were talking about a movie the other day on the pod. Were you talking about Disturbia?
Very possibly. I don't know the name.
Where
of
she
the
like
movie.
looks out and sees a murder, or the guy like with the body in the bag
Yeah.
in his garage.
Yeah.
That was in the
He had
podcast.
yeah, I think last week you guys.
Well, I was talking about the Simpsons
Yeah, he was
episode.
talking about The Simpsons.
Oh, the Simpsons
Is the
episode.
Disturbia the Christian one?
No, it's got
no, it's the one with
Shia
Shia LaBeouf.
Oh.
And
Oh, this would have been
Some-
before that by like 15 years or so.
Oh, okay.
This is early 90s.
What's the one I'm thinking of with like the guy getting interviewed who is like demon possessed?
Interviewed with the Vampire. No, that's
Nefarious.
in
Nefarious.
Yeah, Nefarious.
That's
I was gonna
what
say
it is.
Insidious, but
That's what it
Not anything the same.
is. Okay.
they're
Mo-
close.
Moving on.
Give me a close.
A demon possessed guy compared to seeing a murderer. A murderer.
I thought you
in
were
the
saying
garage.
Nefarious and Insidious, the
Oh,
two
no.
words.
Unless the guy doing the murder was the nefarious guy. You never know.
That'd be crazy.
You really never know.
It's impossible to know, honestly.
Is it possible The answer is yes. To murder somebody with ill will without being, I was going to say possessed. Definitely true. But I still think you'd have, some influence from demonic forces.
Are you saying?
It's actually a really interesting question.
Are you saying?
Like, can you do it without demonic forces around you?
I'm not hearing you at all.
Yeah, me neither.
So just of your
I
own.
just assumed it was because I killed the thing because you guys were loud in my head, in my ears. But I can't. I don't know.
Volume.
Sorry, you guys are just killing this conversation. It's cool.
No, this is good. People need to see
So
this.
you're saying
How hard we're working.
Can you kill someone just out of the evil of
Have
your
your own
heart?
human nature
Yeah.
without any demonic influence on you.
No.
Yeah, I lean towards a no as well, but I'm not sure. I
But
could
we're-
probably be convinced.
We're born into sin.
Yeah, I was gonna say our sin. We do have sin
So
nature.
we have a sin nature, whether or not
Interesting.
we are influenced, I feel like.
Because
But the
anything.
influence is all around.
But
Any-
is there something to be said for? So you're saying you're born into sin. So from a young age, you're predisposed. You're a sinner at birth. But is there something to be said for not knowing your sin? Does that make sense?
Yeah, we're actually again going through 1 Corinthians, and that's what they were saying is the sting of death is sin, and there was no sin apart from the law. So prior to knowing the law, there was not really sin.
Because otherwise, if you're 1 year old and you die,
Yeah, well, we're not going to legislate that. There's
Sure.
a lot of smarter
But-
people that.
sure. But that's where my mind goes. Where it's I think if you're kind of like you're saying, when you're born in sin, if you're unaware that you're sinning, then it's different than an adult person making the choice to take someone else's life. I think there's in that case, I think there's always going to be demonic influence.
Dude, I think that could be a good movie. Like a 1-year-old just going around committing murders.
Chucky.
Have you ever
wait,
watched
is that
the
a thing?
horror
Yeah, dude.
channel?
Chucky was not a 1-year-old.
I don't know. I've never seen it.
It was a
Have
toy.
you seen it? Sinner.
I have not seen it,
Okay.
but I did watch Pet Cemetery, which was really creepy.
Yeah.
That's a 1-year-old that goes around killing people. But
I
he
thought it
was
was about animals.
it's a cemetery near a house by author Stephen King. I'm not plagiarizing, and
Friend of the show.
the cat died and they buried it in the pet cemetery, and the cat came back to life. So his little boy got hit by a
Way to
truck,
Spoil it.
and he was 2 years old. So he buried him in the pet cemetery, and the boy came back, but he was demon possessed and killed the whole family. Tried to kill the family.
Like that.
It was I still have flashbacks to that movie. It's so creepy.
Dexter
See the new
started.
one?
Did I see the new one?
Yeah.
No.
We should watch it. All right,
Hey,
let
can
me
we
get back.
crack open this?
So you said if you are an adult and kill somebody out of not knowing it's bad, per se. But I was thinking if you did understand that it was bad, you could still do that without being influenced, right?
can we choose to sin without Satan or demonic influence?
Yeah, essentially.
I think you can.
Yeah, I think so too. I've never really thought about that, but that's interesting.
Because before, humans never did until there was
Demonic
a
influence.
demonic
though.
influence.
That's what I'm.
But we were also in the
Right.
garden. So that first sin, kind of broke the eggshell, and then
Right.
sin was,
That's true.
we were tainted.
That's true.
Are you going to open this Dr. Pepper?
Can you do
There's
it?
no ice.
I'm so thirsty. I need water or something.
Here. I don't know.
You got to bring your own water to the pod.
I usually do, and then I said, Luke doesn't have a cast anymore. He'll get me some water.
I had been up and down the steps 100 times.
It was 4 times.
And he got one thing.
Yeah.
3 things.
I don't even remember 2 of the things he got.
I only got one thing.
Hold your cup up.
Hey, guys, how do you feel about... thank you. Oh, how do you feel about people that listen to podcasts on speakerphones in the grocery store?
Hate that.
What if it's a Christian podcast?
Is this about you?
Not a fan.
In a way, I was in the store and there was someone doing it, and I got really annoyed. Dude, come on.
That was perfect. Wow.
I think you can get it a little higher.
Just sip
You
it.
better
Oh,
drink
it's
it. You better
spilled.
drink it.
Get that on mic.
Not on my nice table.
We will definitely.
Did you spill?
Oh my god.
How's that nice warm Dr. Pepper tasting?
It's not chilled at all.
No.
I at least chilled it when I brought Dr. Pepper.
Did you?
I don't know if you did. That's questionable.
I put it in the fridge before you guys got there.
Well, he just had it in the freezer for all of 40 seconds or so.
2.5 minutes.
Solid.
Yeah.
I'd take it back then. Sorry. I wasn't aware.
Thank you.
I got a question.
Go ahead.
What are y'all doing this upcoming week?
I'm not prepared for
And
this.
that's the show. Thanks for tuning in.
Tune in next week to find out the answer to that question.
Yeah.
I want to revise my statement. I think the only way that it's not... I still am questioning about this, but the only way it wouldn't be demonically influenced... Are you familiar with a crime of passion?
Yes.
Different than a hate crime. I was thinking of The Office. I'm sorry. It's not a hate crime. The Office, friend of the show. A crime of passion is like, so say you come home from work and you find your wife with someone else, you know? The crime of passion
What are
states
they
like
doing?
if
Like
you
just hanging out?
Sure.
I'd kill him.
Yeah. So if you like immediately like grab the baseball bat and beat the guy to death, it's called a crime of passion. If you like take a second and like premeditate, it's different. That would be the one thing I'd be like, that's just like your instinct. And it's not so much like demonically influenced. It's just like you're overwhelmed with emotion. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's also like self-defense style.
No.
Well,
like
yeah,
the
for
same
like the
sort of
same
thing. I see
kind
what you're
of
saying.
idea.
Yes, I agree. Yeah, I agree. Because it's like you're saving a life. We've had this discussion. But I agree with that.
So as long as it's not meditated.
Premeditated.
Well, it could be meditated.
You could meditate on it.
Yeah, but you're going to tell me when you're like in a fury, that's not going to be demonically influenced?
And that's kind of why
Well, it could be a justified wrath.
He's right. Maybe. Probably not.
But if you're... Yeah, I don't know. If it's a sin, it's not going to be justified. The question was, can
Someone
you sin?
needs to try all these things and then
See if
die
you
and
make
come
it.
back and let us know what happened.
That's true. Which side of the aisle did you fall on?
Yeah. What did the big man have to say?
Was it Lazarus' brother or was it Lazarus himself that was like in hell and was like, hey,
That's
tell
a
him.
different Lazarus.
I think it was just the guy Lazarus saw. I didn't think that guy had a name, I thought.
No, his name was Lazarus.
Well,
oh, wait.
No, Lazarus, I know. You're talking about the guy Lazarus sees, right?
Yeah, but I thought
I think
oh,
his
maybe
name-
he was saying, go warn my brother.
Yes, I think it was.
Okay.
He was when he couldn't even get like a like little drop of water to quench his
Yeah.
thirst or heat or whatever.
Yeah. Do you guys think that when we die, we immediately go to heaven or that we're sleeping until the end, Jesus comes back?
Now?
Are you talking about purgatory?
No.
At this point?
Right now.
No.
I think at this
Are you
point...
talking
we
about
go-
all the people that raise up during Jesus' comeback
I'm
out of Israel?
I think... at
Don't
this-
call it a comeback. I'm saying your grandma died. Is
Are
she?
you kidding me? Bring my grandma into this? Is this payback?
Anyway,
If only you hadn't pressed that button
and
3
that's
times.
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I really want to use it now. And that's all, that was the story. I just wanted to bring the fact.
Your grandma's dead.
No, but is she in heaven right now, or is she
How can you say that?
sleeping until the
No.
resurrection?
Seriously, how can you think that if Jesus said to the sinner next to him, today you'll be with me in paradise?
Because Paul also says you're sleeping until the resurrection of the dead, or something.
What?
Well, when Jesus was first risen from the dead, or like ascended into heaven, there was that period of time of all the people
Before.
coming back to life. and then-
Zombieing out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
zombieing out and going up to heaven. But I think isn't that somehow supposed to happen again in Revelation?
Dude,
The resurrection of the dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that I think before Jesus died on the cross, I don't know. That's like the purgatory, Abraham's like bosom thing that they talk about.
That was all the Old Testament people.
Yeah, but before Jesus died, their sins weren't paid for yet.
Right, but I'm talking about in 1 Corinthians 15, Paul, which is after Jesus, Paul
Yeah.
says, like, I can't remember. I don't have a Bible in front of me. My phone's occupied.
You should always have a Bible.
Yeah. But He's
Those,
basically
like little ones. It's like
dude. I used to carry one in my back pocket.
you also need
at
to
all-
carry like
Heck
a
yeah.
magnifying.
at all times, and then I ended up like never using it. I'm gonna look this up. Give me a minute.
Okay.
All right, nobody say anything.
Wait.
First one to talk loses. What
was that
Oh,
noise?
Steve lost.
Did anybody pay any attention to the Orioles game today? I know that this is going to be coming out Monday, but the Orioles lost their first playoff game today.
No, I've been watching Nats though.
I actually saw that the
Listen.
No, not anymore. You're not.
Was yesterday the last one?
Yeah. Or no, not yesterday.
They lost to the Phillies yesterday, I thought.
Wait, did the Nats make the playoffs?
No, it was the other day.
No, we lost 90 games.
I was going to say, like, what just happened in the
was
NL East?
It was Sunday. You're right. Sunday was last game.
I think the White Sox have just hit the longest losing streak. Or not,
I think they
not losing streak, but most
they-
losses in a season
Yeah.
since like 1933.
It's amazing. It's fun to watch.
Pretty
It's
impressive.
crazy. Fun to watch.
I would like to watch a record loss game again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Usually we
Being
just
a
have
Washington
the Redskins.
fan, we may have the chance.
How'd you guys like the Jaden Daniels game?
Unbelievable.
Ho. That guy's pretty good, man.
Dude, breaking records. Highest completion percentage of any 4-game stretch ever, and it was his first 4 games in the league.
Wait. I thought it was just the highest completion rate for the first 4 games of anybody's career.
No.
That's the best for a 4-game stretch ever.
Ever.
We're going to the
Dude, isn't it crazy?
Wow.
Then why
I'll be
can't
right
we
back.
ever win? Except for this
We're
week.
3-1.
We're 3-1.
3-1?
Yeah, dude.
We're
I
number
haven't really
1 in
watched
the
any
division.
games. I just know we usually lose.
I just hopped back in. I'm starting again. I felt it, man. When we were watching it Sunday night,
Dude, it's 2012 again.
It
I
did
was
feel
like,
good.
I was like, oh, it's pulling me back in. I am going, and I couldn't do anything about it. I was in, man. We were doing the handshakes.
This week, I'm going to be playing
excited.
Putting the hands up.
Yeah, dude. Well,
left hand.
my daughter didn't. She didn't know what was going on.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I tried that and it didn't work.
Ooh.
I must have seen the only loss.
Probably week 1 when the guy was missing all those field goals.
Yep. You
Yep,
got
sure
fired,
was.
right?
yeah.
I hope.
And our next new guy, never mind, I'm not even going to say it. You don't jinx
Hasn't
a perfect
missed yet?
game. Shut.
I know. I ruined Forbath's career.
You did ruin a Forbath's career.
Kai, if you want to come on the pod, let us know. We talk about how we destroyed your career.
We have Dr. Pepper.
Warm Dr. Pepper.
Warm.
What'd you find, Steve?
Listen, I tell you a mystery. We will not all sleep, but we will all be changed in a flash, in the twinkling of an eye at the last trumpet. I can't find where it is because it's kind of...
Non-existent.
You sure it wasn't in the Mormon Bible?
Yep, pretty sure.
All right.
I feel like there is something in Revelation talking about that
He's
as well.
There is.
But-
he's saying there.
So this is like a contentious thing in Christendom, too. It's like smarter people than me argue both sides of that. Like, do we...
What do you say about heaven is for real?
It's not for real. That came out as a lie.
I know.
Which was really disappointing because I was like, this little kid's awesome.
Yeah.
Turns out he was a charlatan.
Do you think
But
people
there
can do
are
that?
lots of experiences like that.
I don't think they're real
Why not?
because I don't think that God would take you into His presence then send you back. I don't.
Weren't we
think-
just talking about Lazarus like a minute ago?
But that was before Jesus. So that was like he was in the waiting area. The waiting.
So what
area.
about John? He went to his presence
when?
I think
in
you're,
Revelation.
But like,
He was in the
was
throne
he
room.
dead?
No.
Okay, well that's what I'm saying.
How would he write it all down?
That's what I'm saying. I think that people don't die and go to heaven then come back.
So you're
Well,
saying
then explain to me Qui-Gon Jinn.
It's true.
so
It's
where
all
do they
blue.
go?
what you're saying is so incredibly arrogant that your reasoning won't.
No,
like,
I'm
that's just saying.
I'm
Like,
just sharing
I don't
my-
believe millions of people that see Bigfoot because it doesn't make sense to me.
That's yep.
Or I don't believe in ghosts because it doesn't make sense to me.
I am just sharing my opinion. Can I do that? Can I do that?
I'm just
Let me
smacking down arrogance when I see it
Why is that arrogant?
because you think that you know more than all these people that are
No, I
having
don't.
experiences.
I just think.
Well,
it's
have
my
a good
opinion.
week, guys. I'll I'll check back with you next week.
It's my opinion.
Will
This
only
is
be
extremely
3.
unsolved. This is not
This is
salted
turning into
at
the
all.
View.
It's turning
Yeah.
into sought opinions.
Yeah, this is wow.
Okay,
And there's your
when
clip for the
people
week.
have those experiences, some of them I've heard aren't like in heaven, but they're at the point where they're still meeting Jesus, and and like kind of going through the flashbacks of their life and stuff like that, and they're sent back, but they never get through the gates yet.
Dan, are you
Have you
aware
heard
that
that?
I just saved the podcast and then you sent us right back into the conversation?
Luke, I want to apologize
They were
for
arguing about him being right.
calling you arrogant.
Thank you.
I was saying it kind of in jest.
That's okay.
I hope that you know that.
That was
One day
not
I'll
jest.
forgive you. Yeah, that was like smackdown. Almost flipped the table over.
I almost
This
did.
is a poker table.
Those are meant for flipping, apparently.
Thoughts?
You're like poking it with a stick. Like, come on. No, you.
We can move the conversation.
How much time? Where are we here? Oh, shoot.
You might be right.
I might be wrong. I just think that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
That I don't think that would happen.
Have you done any research whatsoever?
It's kind of like everything we've talked about a long time ago, yeah. But it's been a while since I've kind of looked into it. Because, I don't know. I just do not agree with that.
Okay.
My opinion.
Does anyone
Not
share
gonna
his
seek
opinion?
that one out anymore.
Does anyone yeah, I'm not going to see you that. Unsought.
I know the answer, but I'm not going to say. I don't know.
So,
no one can know. And that's the beauty of it.
has there
We're
ever
not-
been any more news about that red heifer altar?
No.
You're gonna
So what I think is happening is if they do, so first-time listeners, the Jews have a red heifer. They're going to sacrifice it, and
The Jewish people.
easy,
The Jewish
easy.
people.
Ben Shapiro says Jews. Like,
Whoa, dude, take it easy.
Dude, there's a long history of certain races getting to say whatever they want about their race.
Steve, you can't say it with your hand up like that.
we're on camera now. We don't,
Put it down.
why does this always happen to me?
This is the first time I've noticed your little tiny mustache.
It's a
Hey,
full
look, he's got
beard.
funny pants on.
He's got the funny pants.
I'm not Trump.
Wait a second. We've been over this. He's not.
Wait, by the transitive property. So anyway, yeah, they because of all the heat and everything, people are speculating that if they do sacrifice the red heifer, it's going to be in quiet and they're not going to publicize it or anything just because of all the craziness.
How would it not be publicized if it's on the mount?
If they do it at night or something, they don't have to sacrifice it on the mount. They just have to wash the tools in its blood or something.
Are you sure?
Also, did anybody look at that red heifer?
No.
Kind of
That was a super brown cow.
Are you sure it wasn't a stock photo?
Nope. I'm not sure.
Is it a chocolate milk cow?
I wish.
Oh, dude, is that a thing?
Chocolate milk.
That's
cow
what the
is
brown
so
Where do
cows
you
nice.
do.
think chocolate
Chalky
milk
milk?
comes from?
Oh my gosh, sounds so good.
Yeah.
Seriously, if you just fed a cow nothing but chocolate, would it work?
How many pounds of meat would you get from it if you fed it only chocolate?
I was listening to that conversation today. It was so bad, but hilarious when we talked about how bad it was.
Dude, I laughed so hard when you're like fighting so tooth and nail about the bones, and you're like, well, we did get some bones.
I have a topic if we want to get into kind of a deep topic.
Yeah, these are
Ben
always,
hates
these
deep topics.
These are always
What-
good.
It's not biblical.
Oh,
It's just,
maybe something we can agree on then.
it's. Are you guys familiar with Hardcore History? Dan Carlin, I believe.
Obviously.
Okay, friend of the show.
You
Obviously.
know we're bad with history.
Hang on a second. Okay, so he's a friend of the show.
Most of us.
Have you ever listened to his? Are you familiar?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ben is the original Dan Carlin. He was the first subscriber of
All right.
Dan Carlin.
Yeah, he
Have
and I
you
go
listened-
way back.
Yeah, dude, he's a big friend of the show. We've had him on. A couple
Stuart
times,
actually, I
but-
think, is original. I think he's the one who put me on the Wrath of the Cons.
Yeah, but you took off. I've only listened to Wrath of the Cons, and that's it.
Oh man,
Dude, Wrath of the Cons
That's the best piece of podcast. If anybody out there is listening to this and has not listened to
I
that
haven't listened
5-part
to it.
series or 4-part series, it's the best piece of podcasting that's ever been done, and I will stand by that.
It's so good. And you can get it now for $1 an episode.
Dude,
give the man
give
a
the man
dollar.
$1.
$1,
Not
isn't
on
it
podcasts?
free?
Well, it used to be, but every once in a while, or not every once in a while,
He has-
eventually they go to like the archive where you have to pay for them.
Oh.
Yeah.
He's only got
I've
a
only
few.
listened to the free ones.
But each one is like 4 or
Dude.
5 hours long.
Yeah.
So
it's
it's like-
worth $5 a piece. It's seriously the best piece of podcasting that's ever been done. Truly.
You get 2 episodes a year, and I'm like waiting on bated breath.
wait.
He just had. Have you been listening to the new ones? Is that what you're going to
No.
reference?
He has 2 episodes a year, but doesn't he have like hundreds of episodes?
He's got a lot of episodes.
It might be.
Well,
the new one, I don't know.
there was a while where he was doing more than that. Like he was putting them out more frequently, but like for some reason it's really slowed down. Maybe it's because he's like busy with other stuff.
So the episode today is brought to you by Dan Carlin's Hardcore History.
False.
Like I said,
I just want to say that's false.
we've had him on a couple times. Go back and search the episodes.
Go,
Nope, not true.
Once we get big,
Guys,
he
we
will
gotta
have
be
an
careful
episode
with this.
about us.
Just kidding.
Mm.
He has denied us hundreds.
All right, what about
Okay,
him?
so Danny
Um,
boy.
So I listened to an episode. I'm in the middle of it. Called Painfontainment. Have you listened to it?
Mhm.
Oh
Pain
my
want?
gosh.
I didn't-
Painfontainment.
Long time.
Painfotainment, because it's supposed to be
Painfotainment.
entertainment, but it's like painfotainment.
Oh,
Whatever.
Maybe not. I mean, I
Um,
could be wrong. I apologize.
It's very interesting, and it talks about. How much have you listened to?
I started to listen to it because he was talking about how he has all these books on torture in his house.
So
And I was like,
It's so funny listening to him
but-
describe his library.
So what the episode's about for all you listeners is it is about why human nature is like kind of like interested in the pain of other people. Like why do we seek out movies
Right.
that like are like violent? Why do we
Right.
like that? You know, why do we like football? You know, like he doesn't mention that, but like we like to see the contact sport. And he kind of just delves into like different cultures and the different types of like torture that they had, and like people would come watch torture like a tailgate. Like they would literally bring their food, and like he's reading like excerpts from like guys' ancient diary or like diaries from the 1800s or whatever that are like, me and so and so brought our food and we shared it and watched the torture. And it's like he's like, that was just an ancient tailgate. That's what that was. And like they're watching this dude get like torn apart,
Yeah.
and people are like cheering and loving it. And it's like, why?
You bring the
Coliseum.
popcorn.
Yeah. Oh, dude.
I was gonna say
The first like hour and a half was on the Coliseum, and he's like, basically his point was, and it was a very good point. He said like, our culture enjoys the same thing. We just prefer it to. We want to know that it's fake. We want to know that it's CGI. Like if someone told you that movie was real, you'd be like, oh my gosh, that's terrible. But back then, it's like they wanted it real. It wasn't like they wanted CGI. They wanted the fake. They wanted it real.
But
they
my
didn't
favorite
have CGI back then.
That is true.
My favorite
They did not.
favorite part of his when he's talking about that is like, but then again, maybe it wouldn't be. Maybe we are those people still.
That's what he's saying. Is like what?
Yeah.
What is like? Where's the divide? Like we enjoy it. They enjoyed it. We just want it fake, right? Do we?
Do we?
question for the table: if you could go into a coliseum and watch a man fight a lion in real life, would you do it?
Yeah, well, that's weren't the Christians adamantly against the Colosseum? Partially because they were being killed.
We hate this place.
But still, I think they were kind of against we're not going to just watch other people get destroyed.
Well, early 1900s, people wouldn't watch boxing for the same reason.
Yeah, but one was people being like ravagely murdered.
Well, right. But my point is like keeping yourself away from that and like the images of violence and things like that.
Yeah, but
for the table, like, would you, if you see this whole crowd going and you get to watch a man fight a lion in real life, do you go to it?
I like
or-
to think that I would be like,
Well, I
there's
do
no way.
watch that stuff on YouTube. when
That's
it's
not
a
YouTube.
lion fighting another animal,
Oh,
and
Yeah.
they get just straight up owned,
So,
or vice versa.
full disclosure, I didn't listen to the whole episode.
I'm about halfway through.
But I feel like that's kind of our innate, like the more civilized we get, we still look for ways to get our. What are you doing with your face?
Well, I'm just looking at Stuart. I'm like thinking about like a conversation that we had years ago, and I still am not sure if he was serious about it. I think I know the answer he would give to this question of would you go watch the lion?
He's looking like
maul
he's
this guy's
getting
face
giddy
off?
about going to the Coliseum.
What do you have? Would you go watch it?
He used to say like we should take guys on death row and use them for use them in movies instead of like doing fake death.
Dude, they did that in the Coliseum. They would literally use them in plays and like reenact a murder.
So Stuart,
And, like,
would you
have
go
some
see
murder.
the Coliseum?
I don't think so. And I didn't mean that. That's
What
Yeah,
if-
I know. I'm sure.
Even if they were on death row. What if it was voluntary?
Well, so here's
do I have to pay money?
I don't know. Was
I'm sure the Coliseum was raking in money.
But I
that's-
think the other part of it is like he talks about at what point would we be okay with that? So like if you knew that it was a horrible murderer or like serial killer that was being torn apart,
Aren't we
are
all
okay
kind
with
of
it now?
okay with what happens to pedophiles in prison?
That's
Like,
what I'm
are
saying.
we-
Like if you found out this guy was a pedophile,
Like, what level
that's
do you-
going to be just like destroyed by a lion. Are you cool with that now? And it makes you like kind of check yourself. It's like, would I want a pedophile to be like mauled? No, obviously.
I have a buddy who is
This is.
in
This,
law
I would not
enforcement.
want to be this buddy that just got brought up off of this.
He was doing
What triggered the thought?
yeah.
Oh yeah, I have a friend.
He was
This one kid in my neighborhood.
dude. Listen, he was doing an arrest, and this guy wouldn't get out of his car. And this dude's like, he's not just like a patrol; he's pretty high up in the agency that he's in. And this guy wouldn't come out of the car, so they broke the windshield and just picked this dog up and threw it in the car. And it was like a grenade that just went off, and the dude was just
Diarrhea.
shredded to like hamburger.
Is he in federal law enforcement?
He is.
That makes sense.
And so it was like,
They do whatever they want, dude.
that's along the same lines. Is like, how do I feel about that, dude? That's awesome.
That's
out
what
of
he's
the car.
saying. Yeah,
Like-
it's like a moral question. Like, when at what point does it become like, all right, that's cool? If it's a innocent person, everyone hopefully is like, oh, I don't want to see that. But if it's like because a lot of these people were criminals, but a lot of them were just slaves or Christians or I think like mentally challenged people. They would just kind of throw them in there and
Oh,
stuff.
that's
And, like-
horrible.
Like,
I do have a question about this. Sort of, maybe it's not exact, but as Christians, should we always should we not like to see that happen to anybody? Because we should always have hope that their lives could be saved.
I know it's
Is that a thing that we should
You
be
got to
talking
preach
about?
the gospel to them and then throw them in there.
So you
you
and
gotta
I
accelerate it.
don't do that. You and I had this conversation a while ago about like being in favor of the death penalty and stuff.
Right.
And you were saying there's like biblical reasoning to be in favor of the death penalty. And so forever, that's kind of like stuck with me. I was like, huh.
What's the reasoning?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I am in
Can't
favor
remember.
of the death penalty by far. We do it in a very humane way, considering, but I don't think there's any reason that you should just keep someone alive for 40 years and be feeding them if they're a serial killer.
What about like the
So-
island idea?
No one
I'm
is.
all about the island.
Dude, just
idea.
put them on an island.
Absolutely.
That'd be tight.
But that's
You
pretty
gotta watch
savage.
the movie
Dude,
Condemned.
the best
Honestly,
one
they-
rises to the top, dude.
They did that, and that's how we got the Australian accent.
That's true.
It's pretty great.
It worked out pretty good, yeah. I mean,
But that was a really big island.
Yeah, I don't.
I mean, there's a lot of bad people out there.
I'm in
Why used
favor.
to play Roller Coaster Tycoon back in the day?
my gosh.
If there was angry people on there, I made a little island for them until they got happy, and if they didn't get happy, I drowned them.
I used to play Jurassic Park Tycoon,
Mm-hmm.
and if people were unhappy, I would just put them in the Jurassic Park.
Oh yeah,
plane.
you got to you got to.
unbelievable.
And to be honest, with the table, full disclosure, I did watch the dinosaurs eat
He's
them.
never gonna win an Oscar.
You never go full.
Yeah, you never. Sorry, we just had a whole conversation off mics, and it was really funny.
It needed to be off mic.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the mic picked
I
it
hope
up
the mic.
enough.
Oh,
Get
Luke.
the
That was
beeps
Luke.
ready.
That was Luke.
Get the beeps ready.
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't hear any of it.
That's good.
That checks out.
They were just quoting Robert Downey Jr.
Stop.
I don't remember death penalty.
Yeah, I don't remember.
another-
I don't know what my case.
I
would
think
have
the
been.
appeals are pretty annoying, to be honest.
I think there's nothing wrong with saying, "Hey, you've done this horrible crime. We're gonna bring a death row. Whatever it takes. Let's say right now it takes like 30 years for them to get around to killing you. Let's say it takes a year. A year, we're gonna have you we're gonna give you all these opportunities to be saved, like you said, and
the
then
final rights
but
or whatever.
this is your day
Last
that you're
rites.
gonna
Last
die
rights, yeah.
because you've killed 6 people or you're a pedophile or whatever. Like you're gonna die a year from today, calendar. We're gonna give you all these opportunities to be eternally saved, but your physical life is done. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
I mean, that's one way to do it. Boys,
This is what's weird because the church is not meant to be in politics. You know what I mean?
I don't know that
Like-
I agree with that.
I don't
premise.
know if I
So-
agree
Go
with that
ahead.
either.
Okay, but in the Bible, what we were set up with was we have our own. Essentially, it's a cult, but a good cult, the only good cult ever made. That we are under the power of the political realm and everything, but we are operating in this dome of our we're selling everything. We have communism in this tiny little pod.
Collective.
A collective. Okay, but you're just
We're not
putting lips-
commies.
everything is
I understand
communal.
what you're saying.
Just call it commune.
Okay, we have a commune. Anyway, and so like in the in this commune, everyone is on board. Everyone is living how they're meant to be in the ideal. And so because of that, we don't need to be jurisdictioning. What's judiciating?
Sure.
We don't have to be
Judge,
Judiciating
jury, and
sounds good.
executioner.
judging the rest of the world. We're judging internally and loving externally. And so with that, there shouldn't be a slot for us to worry about the death penalty and those things. Because we're supposed to be judging internally and loving externally as the body of Christ.
So should we not vote?
Well, that's what's the murky thing is, because this was created as a Christian nation. And so, yes, by all means, you're supposed to do your civic duty and be under the authority placed over you. And so use your rights as a citizen every way you want. But it gets murky when you blend politics with your religion.
Well, all right. I think definitely the church is supposed to kind of manage themselves, is what you're saying, basically. But at the same time, we need to appoint godly leaders and stuff in our nation and in our local communities, and at least try.
I don't want that. Dude, stop. Yes.
But you also have, because there's like Joseph and David, they're both, or Daniel, and David.
Yeah.
They all had political slots. They're like a big deal.
Steve,
Dude,
I think you've had enough Dr. Pepper, bro.
Nobody listening on the podcast understands. Ben keeps filling our glasses way too full.
Not ours, just
comically
yours.
full, so that... Okay.
Can you please give me the quick summary
The
of what you're
suds
saying?
are more
'Cause I
than
couldn't
the
hear
water.
Anything?
What Dan said?
Yeah, I'm lost because I was watching.
I said in the Bible there's Daniel and David and Joseph that are all
In
basically
politics.
appointed to be politicians.
Yeah, I
by
agree.
God.
Yeah, for sure.
So let's say you're in a position as that you're the king, like David, and you are faced with a horribly evil person. Is it right?
Into the mic, please.
Oh my gosh!
Keep talking.
Is it right to? Oh my gosh! Dude, we just dropped of the 60,000 people that are watching.
We
we're
need
now at
to
50.
assign that to slot D.
If you're king
Yeah.
and you're faced with a horrible murderer or pedophile, whatever,
Right.
you're faced. They're asking you, should we do death sentence or life? What are you saying?
I'm not saying it's a clear answer, and I don't know.
Fair.
Because it's like it's a drain on society to keep a prisoner in jail
So-
for 1 year and everything. But it's like,
So my thing. I'm sorry. I'm trying not to
yeah,
laugh.
empirically, if someone were to lead,
Can you define empirically?
like unquestionably observable.
Okay.
Like if you do an experiment, you can watch it out and see that without question, if someone were to lead the way that Jesus led, like scientifically, or I don't know how to say it other than empirically, that's going to produce fruit. Because you have a leader who is self-sacrificial, loving, and full of justice. So any leader who emulates Christ is going to be a good leader. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but I don't know what that has to do with this.
So it makes sense to vote for a leader of the nation or of your town or anything that's going to demonstrate Christ, because empirically that's going to be a good leader. But that doesn't necessarily mean you do that so that he can enforce his religion on the town or country or government.
I don't know what that has to do with the death penalty.
I gotta tell you guys, and this is just honest. If I was listening to this podcast, I would have stopped listening, and I'll tell you why. Because when he was doing that, I stopped listening, and I'm here.
But that is also every week.
That's fair. That's
Anytime we talk about like adult things, you just tune out. Hey, baseball. Baseball, Ben.
Nothing talking about it. The Orioles lost. I don't want to talk about it.
Did they not make the playoffs?
No, they're in the playoffs. They
Oh.
lost their first game in the playoffs.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
That's why I don't want to talk about it. Our starting pitcher went 8 innings, gave up 1 run, and we didn't score, and we lost.
You're
I
right.
thought you didn't
He
want to
does
talk about it.
Light up.
Oh, no. It's
He lights up. Cookies.
don't even get me started.
Cookies, Kevin. Cookies.
Another interesting thing that this podcast was talking about.
Are you talking about ours or someone else's?
I'm sorry.
We haven't talked about anything.
hardcore
interesting.
history. In like the what would you call the time like of George Washington, like that
Colonial time.
colonial time. So, but I think it was not. It was like in France or something or England.
Colonial France.
Yes, they would do. They considered public executions as almost like a religious good thing. Like it was like there's this basically the way that I understand it in simple terms was there's this guy who's committed this terrible crime. His penance, is that the right word?
Yeah.
His penance would be to go through this horrible torture for him to get to heaven. So it was like crowds came to satiate their obsession, like all of us, to like see gore, I guess. However, they also were involved in like this, like there's like, he was reading like diary stuff of like, they're so happy for this guy that he's now ascending. And there was even cases where like, this was really weird. And I think I heard this correctly, where it was like, the guy being executed would like sing, like the guy who's being tortured would like say a line to a hymn, and he would request that the audience says the next line or something, and kind of like direct them in like this worshiping thing, which was very strange. It was almost like he viewed it as his way to get to heaven after doing a terrible crime as well. It was just a very
satanic sounding.
Well,
It's like the Ku Klux Klan.
but it was a Catholic thing. I believe it was like a.
Well, they also had like, was it self-flagellation or whatever, where
Yeah.
they would take the
Yep.
whips and.
Sorry.
God,
flagellation.
You're literally a child. Baseball.
Birthday music. But sorry. Like happy birthday. Sing happy birthday.
I don't understand.
Anybody else get it?
But yeah, it was just like, while the Roman culture looked at it as just like this grotesque, like they're just satiating their desire, it was like this culture's looking at it as like a good thing. And it was very weird. Thoughts?
I was just listening to a podcast about black-eyed children. It's pretty interesting, but they're talking about changelings.
Wait a second, I'm so lost.
You know what a changeling is?
Yeah, what's a black-eyed children?
Listen to our black-eyed children episode, Luke.
I don't know what that is.
Kids knock on the door. They say, "Can we come in for a glass of water? Or can I use your phone or something?" They want to come in, but they won't show you their eyes. When you look at their eyes are black. They're demons. You don't say.
Oh yeah, I do remember that. That was a long time ago.
We
We're
interviewed
back
a guy who made an actual movie about it.
Who had them knocking on his door?
Mm-hmm. Anyways, somehow this podcast went from that to changelings, which I've heard all these terms. I'm still learning them all. But a changeling is basically, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like it has to do with fairies, and they kind of like exchange. People think that they exchange the, like if it was your wife or something like that, and your wife came home and she seemed totally different and like not like how she normally is at all. It'd be like, oh my gosh, she's a changeling. Like the fairies swapped her out and they took her, my actual wife away. And so this was a story for this guy whose wife came back and she was acting all weird, and he believed that she was a changeling, but they also believed that if you burn them, then it would burn the demon out of her.
Oh.
And then as soon as the demon's gone, she'd turn back into herself. So this guy, after trying so many different things, gave her this potion, wasn't helping. So then they held her down, made her drink a ton of it, still didn't do anything. So then he threw her into the fire and burned her alive, and she still didn't obviously change back into herself. So then he got charged with murder, obviously, for 20 years. I don't know where I was going with this. Oh,
Dude,
yeah. It's
that's
like
wild.
Someone's thinking they're doing the right thing. Like he thought he was 100% certain that his actual wife was going to come back and that he was getting rid of the demon in her.
That's crazy.
What
And
are
still
the-
to this day, apparently, he claims that he did the right thing.
One of the really
wild.
frustrating parts of like leading a home church is like you'll teach something and then like weeks later someone will like like bring this thing up like they just thought of it and you're like, dude, we've been over that. Dan.
I don't think that's exclusive to home churches.
I was going to say, that sounds like me on the podcast.
We've been over it. Like that same story I brought up on this podcast.
When?
I don't remember that.
I don't remember that.
I may have not said the wife, but the people murdering or burning their children because they think it's a changeling, and then that's like they're not going to do that if there isn't some kernel of reality into that.
Clearly, you didn't explain the changeling thing.
What
well
if
enough.
what if that's why the Catholic Church started selling indulgences to get people to stop burning their kids and their wives? And
What's
it was
an
like
indulgence?
it's where like if you do something wrong, you just give money.
A
That was
penance
one of Martin Luther's grievances against the Catholic Church.
Which I'm sure that it like again, it's the same reason why Jesus flipped the tax collector tables because people were going in and just kind of buying their sacrifices and stuff, and there was no emotional reality to it. So they're just like money changing the like money for a dove so you're just like basically paying your tax as opposed to like watching this dove be sacrificed for your sins and stuff. And so Jesus didn't like that and threw it. But I can see how like rather than self-flagellation or getting stop laughing or like mutilating yourself, you're saying like if you just give like $300, like that's going to hurt me to do that. So I'm going to sacrifice $300 and then it can get out of hand from there. So it's like a lot of the things I don't know that are as cut and dry, like corrupt as we're taught it is. Like I'm sure that it started out in a good place.
Yeah.
And then just kind of gets taken advantage of by.
Sure.
Dan Carlin had a really good point too about the whole Catholic Church and the corruption of the popes in the Middle Ages and stuff, where it's like you had the Roman Empire that's just this massive world power leader government thing, and intertwined with the Roman Empire is the church, you know. And so when the Roman Empire folds, there's this massive power vacuum, and so naturally absolute power corrupts absolutely. So the church takes that power, and because the church has all this power, it draws people to the top who are going to be corruptible from that. And so it's like that's how this huge church, and you might not believe that the church became corrupt, but they did have a Reformation in the Middle Ages, so we're going to say that they kind of got a little wonky. I don't want to be dogmatic on that, but it was just kind of an interesting way to put that. Like anything's going to be vulnerable when it has all the power in the world. You know what I mean?
Oh, 100%.
I hate that you refilled this because I don't want to drink it.
Don't.
Well,
I'm
don't let it go
thirsty.
to waste.
Then do.
He said don't.
Yeah.
And don't shy on that, too. There's more.
Please help yourself. So I don't know if there's. Yeah, there's time.
Ben, what's something super interesting you want to talk about? Super interesting, though.
Stephen doesn't like to talk about politics.
I love
We've been
talking
talking
dude,
about politics.
Please, can we talk about
Kind
politics?
of.
Please.
Trump
No,
is not
no.
Hitler.
Dude, why are we against talking politics? We've been over this. People want the politics.
How are we?
I just never got to flush out with you guys what the debate was like for each of you.
I'm all about it.
Because I feel like I watched the movie. I watched it with Steven and his wife and Stuart, and I didn't get the feeling that everybody else in the media in the world got like after it, that he got whooped.
I felt like he did not do a good job.
I don't know.
Stu, you were there. What did you think?
Like while I was watching it, like it made me laugh a few times because
Absolutely.
he's a funny guy.
Yeah, he's funny, but he doesn't answer questions, which drives me crazy.
Oh, and
Because
she does.
Because he knows that there's no point in answering the question. There's
I just-
no
Yeah,
point.
and he's not going to sway voters, I don't think.
Well, I don't
There's
think.
no
I
I
think
don't think
that's-
either of them are really going to sway too many people.
I believe that's the entire problem with debates.
Yes, I agree.
It's like it absolutely didn't move a needle one way or another.
Him answering a question in one way is not going to make anyone be like, "Oh, okay, I'll vote for that guy."
Dude, but like he's a genius, right?
Absolutely,
Because think about
absolutely.
about if you want somebody to talk about the
Who are we talking about here?
Who?
Yeah,
The Orange Man.
Have we said his name?
Yeah, no,
Bad-
we're going
bad
to refer
Orange
to him
Man?
as the Orange Man. He's a genius. Like, how many times on every podcast and every like late night show have they referenced the eating of the dogs?
They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats.
If you wanted
cats.
if you wanted that to be a thing that people looked into and talk about all the time, mission accomplished.
Absolutely.
It's done. He's that good at manipulating the world.
Yep.
You think he went in there and said, "They're eating the dogs"? You think that he did that without knowing that was just going to cause? Like, he knows every
It is
time.
funny how the media needs him.
They need him.
They can't
Whether they
stop
like him or
talking
not.
about him. They did.
They like
talked
him
about
for their
the whole last
views.
4 years.
I don't know that he's as big of a genius as people think that he is. He left so
I'm
much.
interested to hear why you would make such an absurd, claim.
He left so much meat on the bone that he could have used in that debate, and he just didn't.
Dude, if he smashed her on the border, obviously that would have been awesome. But I still don't think he would get the talking points that he got.
He
I agree with
knocked
what you're about
Biden
to say.
out of the debate.
He what?
He knocked Biden out of the debate based off of
Let's
attacking
be honest.
Biden.
Father Time knocked Biden out of the debate.
Yeah.
1982 knocked Biden out.
Look, does beep really count? Does beep in a corpse really count as a
Stu,
beep?
I'm going to throw it to you. What did you think of the debate?
I don't know. I'm too stupid. But, I mean, I thought he did fine.
Yeah.
No,
I thought
Donald
he did
Trump.
fine, and then like the storm of negativity that came from afterwards, I was like, "Are we just getting gaslit like nobody's business right now?" The answer is always yes when it comes to the media, but
Yes. I think the only thing he could have done better is not, and he gets this. I think he sometimes just gets carried away. The only thing he has to go in there and do is say why Kamala Harris is a bad idea. He doesn't. It sounds bad, but he doesn't really need to answer the questions because it doesn't matter what he says. People are going to people that are on his side will believe him. People that are not on his side are not going to believe him. So all he really needs to go in there and do is say how Kamala Harris is terrible. Like that's.
It would be nice if
redirect
either
the
of them
question to that.
ever actually said what they were planning to do.
Yeah, but that doesn't. No, it wouldn't because no one ever does it except for him. He did like 75% of what he said he was going to do. He didn't do all of it.
Well, he did that all like in 2 months.
Well, yeah, and he tried to do all of it, but he was. I mean, there's a few things that he didn't do.
his entire presidency got nuked.
Yep. But nobody else, like if
By the
Kamala
last
Harris said what she's
6
going to do,
months?
like it wouldn't mean anything.
What?
By the last 6 months?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
like, yeah,
He
got
became
right.
now he's known as like a radical spending president because they wanted him to spend through these like $1 trillion deals. So
yeah.
Did you guys
It's
hear?
a dark time.
dark time.
Are we done with this topic, or do you want
Sure,
to keep?
I do want to say that I do think Kamala Harris proved that she's trainable, which might make her even scarier if you're scared of the establishment, because, like,
We have no guise of like bipartisanship anymore on this podcast.
no. I think
I
that
don't
this is a positive thing for her.
Yeah, I thought we were 50-50.
for the Democratic side. I think that you're happy with her because you don't see she didn't.
I was
cackle as
actually
much.
just looking at her approval ratings yesterday, and they were
Easy.
like 35% until Biden dropped out, and now they're like 48% or something.
Were
Yeah,
they
it's-
35% before? I
They
think
were very, very
I think
low.
she was record low, or
Yeah.
like I think she was
I
like
think it was in
at
the
one
20s.
point like 12%.
All right, Harris.
I don't think it was
2024,
12%,
right?
but
Huh?
We can all agree on that. Harris Walls 2024.
Oh, dude, I think Harris.
Harris Walls Media 2024.
Let me tell you what I think. Let me tell you what I think. I
sponsor the
think
pod.
I think just by driving around and looking at the signs, I think Trump dog gets smoked in this election.
Yeah, but there was also. It also seemed like he was going to.
I don't
lose
think
the
Ben
first
was done
time.
talking.
Also, people that put out Trump signs know that
Is
they're gonna
anybody
get
ever really done
assaulted.
talking on this podcast?
It's unreal.
Carry on.
Yeah, I mean,
No, I agree with you.
yeah, I mean, I see way fewer Trump signs than I did against Biden. I see more Harris signs than I did Biden signs.
I feel like Trump isn't spending any money on this election. None.
I don't know about that, but I think that people are afraid to put out Trump signs because they realize that people will literally threaten them. I mean, I've got friends that are receiving like letters.
They were the
for
silent
putting out
majority
a
last
Trump
time
sign.
too.
Yeah,
I think it's more acceptable to vote for Trump at this point, or to back Trump vocally, than it was in 2020. 2016, it was whatever, but 2020 it was like you're
I think it's because really people do know that he's not going to be a tyrant.
right.
I mean, he's got a track record now.
I still think that you're like, if you wear a Trump shirt out, you better be prepared for
Yeah,
possible violence.
possibly. Yeah, I don't know.
But
But
I don't
if you
know.
wear
Have
a
you ever
vault-
seen anyone actually get heckled?
Have
Heckled in the street.
Trump's
How
ear,
many times
Trump's
have you-
ear literally got blown off.
How many times
but
have you
that's him.
seen
That's him.
somebody wearing a Trump shirt not at a Republican event?
My parents
I've
do
seen
it all
it.
the time.
I was
I've
just in
seen
Myrtle
it-
Beach.
I've seen it.
I saw it a few times.
I mean, I've seen it a few times, but not a lot.
Well,
I've
how many
seen-
times have you seen a Harris shirt?
I've seen way more Harris bumper stickers than Trump because I
Yeah,
think people
yeah,
are
yeah.
afraid of their car getting keyed.
I was
Like-
gonna say, find me a Trump sticker that doesn't have a scratch on it.
Yeah,
Actually, driving to work, I do feel like I see an even amount of bumper stickers.
Hmm.
But once you get into our town,
Chicago.
it's a lot more blue. Also, she has like 4 or 5 times the amount of funding.
I brought
as
this
he
on
does.
myself.
This is you.
Yeah, I take full responsibility. Sorry, go ahead, Dan.
Yeah. What?
I think she has like 4 times more funds than he does as far as donations.
It does. I mean, it
BlackRock.
feels that way because everything feels.
As soon as
Great.
she was like the official nominee, it just poured in.
Yeah. Less because
George
people were
Soros.
withholding a lot of their.
They're
donations
withholding,
and
and
stuff.
they were withholding from Biden because they did not want him to run because he was going to lose.
Lizard people.
They're turning the frost.
Dude, did you guys hear what
True,
Netanyahu
by the
did?
way.
It is true. What did you say?
Did you hear what Netanyahu did?
With the pagers?
No, well, the pagers too, which is kind of awesome. But no,
I guess we're all about the death penalty again.
Wow.
sorry, maybe not awesome, but it's just like
Genius, though.
genius. That's what I mean. Like
And awesome.
that it blew up all of it. Like
There was a lot of innocents that got
I'm all
injured
about
and
bad people
killed.
getting killed.
too.
yeah,
I'm sorry.
but it was like blowing up their junk because that's where
Oh,
they wear
you
their
don't wanna-
pagers. It was just kind of
No,
funny.
they all got a call. Look
Okay.
up, boom.
Okay,
Oh,
well then that's different.
dude,
I would
that is
assume. I mean,
so
I'm sure some
gnarly.
junk.
No,
got
I heard
messed
it was
up.
like the battery overheats and explodes, so it's like on them. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
What were we going to say?
Netanyahu comes to America and addresses the UN in New York, and he just drops the gloves and was like, basically, we're not going to get pushed around. We're not going to do this. You're not going to tell us what to do. And as he's leaving the meeting, the F-16s drop the missiles and just blow up the leader of
Yeah, I saw that.
Hezbollah.
Hezbollah.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, he timed it out that he got the call, hey, we're in pursuit. He's like, all right, I'm going on stage.
He's so cool.
And then he drops the mic, walks off as he's walking off. It's crazy.
Also, the pager thing. Did you know why they have pagers?
yeah.
Because
No.
they did a similar thing with their cell phones. So like, we're not doing cell phones anymore. We're gonna all have pagers, so they can be programmed to blow us up.
And not knowing that they already bought the pagers.
And they had
from
already done
the-
that. Yeah, they were already in with that company.
What's the ICF or I something? I don't
Forget.
forget.
Shoot.
IED.
No.
No, it's like IJL
That's the whole
or something.
company.
Yeah. I think it's the IJO or something.
The Israeli army.
Yeah. But it's like
Special
yeah,
Forces.
They're just so.
ISF? I don't know.
Yeah, because I don't know.
Stuart, you
It's
know
so
a lot about
heavy.
Diddy, right?
Do you have
Puff
something for
Dad
us?
himself.
I don't know. You got questions?
Yeah,
Oh,
dude.
I thought that you were holding the mic and your phone like you had something to.
Oh
say.
no.
Oh,
I was
sorry.
looking up that acronym you're trying to find out.
Oh, okay. Yeah, dude, it's crazy. So like now Israel is surrounded on all borders by people trying to take them over and stuff. And
It's
so
been forever.
what?
I feel like that's
No,
always
but now
been a
it's like
thing.
active warfare.
Oh, yeah.
And today they shot hundreds and hundreds of ballistic missiles at all over
It's
Jerusalem.
impressive
Israel.
how many missiles that tiny little country has.
It's unreal. And so like
Israel?
Yeah,
I believe they have more firepower than any nation in the world.
which is insane.
ballistic or nuclear and everything.
I don't know about
So
that.
anyway,
Why that Lockheed
I think
Martin
Russia's
stock
got the
is-
most.
But
nukes.
that's
so
what's
high.
nuts. I was listening to a special report on it on the way over. But now Netanyahu, because Iran dropped all these missiles on Israel, they said, "All right, the gloves are off, and we are ending this." And so they're going to start going after the nuclear facilities and everything. Like, they're just it's going to go crazy. We're
Yeah.
seeing World War III start right now.
I saw on the news report saying like any American should like leave the area, like any surrounding area immediately, because it's just going to be carnage.
I'm surprised people are still there anyways.
People do
And
good
people
work.
are still going on tours and stuff.
Do you legit think that World War III is starting like right now?
What time is it?
There's no way they'd start.
I don't
at
know.
9
I don't have my
o'clock.
phone.
Yeah, this pod's not even
Maybe
air.
after breakfast for them.
The world's gonna end. But
Can't fight on an empty stomach.
yeah, dude, it's going crazy.
Wow.
And so that's like, from what I'm hearing, like the podcast and stuff that I'm listening to, and it's slanted, obviously, but they're saying like they're rewriting all of the Middle East, like by these attacks and them taking down Hezbollah, which is the number one terrorist organization in the area. Like they just crumbled them. They lost 12 of their 14 bases or whatever. So now they're just like, they're nothing anymore. And all these things are happening. And so that's like, you can kind of see it leading to Israel creating peace in the Middle East. And how we were talking before, how the guy after Netanyahu was prophesied to be everything. And then 2027 is 2,000 years after Jesus actually died and resurrected. And all these things, dude.
Here he
2027, the world's...
And if that sacrifice happens, and then
Exactly.
and then the world completely leaves Israel and doesn't support him anymore,
Yeah. The remnant, dude,
then it's basically at the end.
it's crazy. So I've been talking to my kids and been like, it doesn't matter where you want to go to college because the world's ending in 2027.
We are spending all our money tonight.
When they figure out, then what's the point of high school? You're going to have real problems.
Well, one of them will be in high school at that time. So we're
Middle
okay.
school, fine.
I've been saying
whatever.
the same thing for years with hygiene. There's no point.
Said in 2020 or
Nice.
the year 2000, year 2020, year 12, year 2020.
So not washing your foot for like 3 months is totally fine.
What's the longest you've
Dude,
gone without
3
bathing?
months is
25
child's play.
minutes.
25 minutes.
No, for him.
Oh.
Child's play. That's disgusting.
Ben, what was the last time you went a day without showering?
I went camping a couple years ago.
I no joke, probably every third day I shower.
I can tell. It's disgusting.
And
What
you
about
still
you?
got the plumbing issues.
What, yeah, I know.
Maybe it's the scum. Did you look at the scum?
Oh, that's the problem.
Have you checked your boot? Just have you?
I've not checked the boot
A boot.
Why not?
because it's been raining.
If you checked it, I would be satisfied.
Dude, you're driving me crazy with this boot thing. So,
Okay.
tell you what,
Okay.
I don't know what the boot
Yeah,
is.
me neither.
there's a boot on the roof that keeps the water from the drain plug. But the problem is, if it was the boot, it wouldn't happen every stinking time I shower. And it's like a full...
Wait, but last time I was at your house, you couldn't get it to do it with your shower.
I can't get it to do it unless I do get it to do it.
Why do you have a boot on your roof?
It's...
Well, that's it for the show, guys. We thank you all. For
I was
listening.
going to give a plumbing update.
I know.
Yeah, good call, Ben. Go ahead and,
Hey,
I'm
Steve, can
aware.
you
go ahead
play
and
us
strum
out?
the guitar.
All right, guys. We just like, subscribe, share, and if you like what you hear, just tell a friend.
Can you
Tell an enemy.
can you pick with your mouth while he sends us out?
Bling,
Oh, jeez.
bling. All
Ben, send us out.
right, can you wrap us out?
No. This week, while you're out there, just remember this one simple thing. We're only in this mess because of how the last election went. And that's all I'm going to say about that.
Because Trump is not Hitler. That's why.
Ooh, Trump is not Hitler.
Before
What?
Easy.
Never mind. I was going to say Trump had like a crazy tweet. Right?
We were so close.
Newsflash.
Can you look that up real fast?
Come on, we were just there.
Dude, it was so good. Speaking of the election thing, it was like
This is what makes people tune out.
he just goes crazy.
Stuart, didn't you have something to say about Diddy, though?
And that's all, folks.
What do you want to know?
I don't know. You were telling me so many things at the beach that it was like totally blowing my mind. I didn't know any of this stuff.
Oh. Maybe next time.
Yeah, maybe next
Are you talking
time.
about stuff other than his sex ring?
They make rings for that? Is it like a mood ring?
We have to cut the end of this podcast out. That is too far.
Did you get anything?
What are you looking for?
It's basically like he's talking about the attacks on Israel and how this is like entirely. Dan's crying. You lost Dan.
Luke's crying more.
All right, I'm going to clip all that. We're going to start right here. 3, 2, 1. Hey, guys, we appreciate you showing up. Thanks for listening. Like, subscribe, and tell a friend. Tell an enemy. But tell someone.
Check out our Patreon.
And check out our pagers. We're sending them out.
Bye.
Peace.